So if you're in the police recruitment process, or you are preparing for police promotion or specialist interviews, this is going to change everything. I know that might sound a little bit dramatic, but seriously it is. Chat GPT, the use of artificial intelligence, is going to change everything in the world of police recruitment and everything in the world of police promotion. How do I know? Well, over the past few days, I've been using Chat GPT to explore all aspects of the police recruitment process, to explore all aspects of the police promotion process, all aspects of specialisation interviews once you're actually in the police. And you know, it's absolutely frightening. I've gone one step beyond that. I've even asked ChatGPT to design material for me that's suitable for police assessment processes and police promotion board processes. And again, the results are frightening. If you're not fully aware of what ChatGPT can do for you, then keep watching, because I'm going to explain to you exactly how ChatGPT could really help you, some of my thoughts on the ethics of the use of ChatGPT, and how actually it could really hinder you and fail you ultimately in the recruitment process or in the promotion process, or if you're going for a specialist position once you're actually in the police. So there you go, that's what this live is all about. I'm going live actually in the Bluelight Facebook group. I'm Brendan O'Brien. I'm the founder of the Facebook group and the founder of Bluelight Consultancy. Over the past 28 years, I've been supporting people to succeed in promotion boards, in specialist interviews, in the police recruitment process. By my best guesstimate, over 15,000 police officers are in the service now as a result of my support, and several hundred police officers have been promoted as a result of my support over the years. So huge, huge numbers. And over the years, the one thing I've been doing is Googling, researching, trying to discover more about what's on the horizon for police recruitment, promotion boards, different ways, exploring different ways that we can actually answer some of the questions and approach the assessment instruments that are used in the recruitment process, that are used in the promotion boards and specialist interviews. And it's only as a result of having a conversation with a friend of mine who told me about AI, artificial intelligence, and how absolutely incredible it is. I mean, he's in the world of coding and computers. I don't understand it, but he's tasked it up. He tasked up ChatGPT to create some complex code for him to solve a coding problem. And you know what? It did it. It provided the solution. And so I thought, well, if it can do that for coding issues, then could it do that for the police recruitment process? So over the next several days, I'm going to go through some of the specifics, some of the specific answers. So if you're watching this on the replay, you might be watching this on YouTube. Watch out for the videos that come out after this, or actually if you're watching this a week after now, you've probably got access to all of those videos, and you know, go through them. I'm going to explain how ChatGPT can be used to support your recruitment process or promotion process, but also some of the pitfalls. I'm going to go into real detail of where you could really come unstuck. I mean, seriously come unstuck to the point where you're going to fail, and actually it may create an integrity issue for you as well. So what have I been doing? I've been asking ChatGPT to create sample questions for me for the online assessment centre and also for the final interview. Now all I need to do is ask it to create some sample interview questions based on the College of Policing values of transparency, for example. And guess what? It did it, and it took seconds. So then after that, I just thought, well, let's push it a little bit. Can you give me sample interview answers for the following questions? So I used the questions that it created and asked it to create sample answers. And guess what? It did it, and it took seconds. It seemed to want to create the role of a security officer for every one of the scenarios. So I thought, well, everyone's not a security officer. What if you're a teacher? So I then asked it, can you change the role from security officer to a teacher? And guess what? Did it. Took less than a second, and it produced a sample answer. Did the same for banking, retail, created sample interview answers for the questions it created based on multiple different roles. So was it any good? Well, watch out for the videos that come next. From there, I started to look at, right, I wonder if it could actually sit the online assessment centre. I wonder if it could sit the police online assessment centre and pass it. And so if you're not on my course, you might not be aware that I've got sample interview questions, a sample written exercise, a sample briefing exercise, and I'm told they're not that far away from the actual real thing. So I asked Chat GPT to basically sit my sample exercises. The results were not just fairly frightening, the results were incredibly frightening. I've got to say, Chat GPT would, in my opinion, would pass. Seriously, it would pass. Chat GPT would pass. Now, this has got so many ramifications for the police service that I'm not even quite sure if they've thought about them. Why? Because, you know, let's face it, it's an online assessment centre. They're telling you that you can't use notes that you've made before, but seriously? Is a College of Policing that naive to believe that someone's not going to take in pieces of paper that might just have some notes on them? Because they can actually make notes in those exercises. So what they choose to make notes on is completely up to them. And the camera can only see what's in that screen. And actually for the written exercise, there's no camera on the individual. It's 2 hours where there's no camera. Now, I believe the sergeant's exam is also run in a similar way. It's run online, and it's based on huge amounts of trust that the individuals concerned aren't going to access any of the material during the exercise. But what if you decided to access additional material? Is there a difference between having a few notes scribbled down and having a laptop next to you where you could just input certain questions and ChatGPT will give you an answer? I don't know. I mean, the ethics of that, for me, it just doesn't seem right. But if someone was tempted to do that and did it, would they actually be discovered? Well, again, watch for my videos that follow this one, because I think there's a good chance that they might get discovered, but it depends on what detection safeguards the College of Policing has put in place. Certainly for the sergeant's exam, I'm not quite sure. The online sergeant's exam, I'm not quite sure whether the system the College of Policing has got, probably very proud of, thinking it's very progressive, because we're online now. You know, just because we're online doesn't mean to say it's good. Well, I'm not totally convinced that the systems that they have are going to be able to detect whether the candidate has utilised artificial intelligence or not in order to answer the questions. So it's pretty frightening. I mean, seriously, when I asked it to do the briefing exercise, the stage 3 briefing exercise, the one that's based on a noisy party, I was just watching it reel off the answers, thinking this is frightening. Similarly, for the written exercise, I set it a written exercise. I just asked it, you know, here's a written exercise that has been devised to help candidates practice for the Police Assessment Centre. Can you, first of all, take a look at the questions, take a look at the supporting material, and then answer those questions? And it did. It did, and it took about 3 or 4 seconds. And what was produced was absolutely frightening in terms of its ability to answer those questions and to answer them well. So pretty scary stuff, pretty scary stuff. So then I thought, well, let's push the boat out a little bit further. Let's see if ChatGPT can actually help people for the final interview. And so I did the same thing. Got it to design some final interview questions based on the competency and values framework, and then I asked it to answer those questions. And again, it did. Now, there's some pitfalls here, ones that I think could really, really fail you and fail you badly. But again, more of those in the subsequent videos. It designed forward-facing questions for me. and it also designed the answers to those forward-facing questions, not just for the recruitment process, but for the promotion process as well. I took a look at what you'd need to do to actually apply for certain positions once you're actually in the police. And one of the things I asked it to do was create an expression of interest for certain positions: domestic violence officer, firearms officer. And you know, I think it did a pretty good job. Again, though, I think there's some limitations. The first ones it created were about 1,000 words long. So I know that some expressions of interest will say in less than 500 words. So I just asked it, recreate this, please, or edit this and recreate it in less than 500 words. But it was it looked like narrative a bit too much. And I thought, well, what would it look like if it was in bullet points? So I asked it to do the same thing, turn this into bullet points. And it did. Honestly, this kit is just incredible, but again, with some limitations. What else did I ask it to do? Oh, from there, I thought, well, let's put the recruitment team out of business. Let's put the College of Policing out of business. So I asked it to design some role plays suitable for the police recruitment process, together with a marking guide. And what did it do? It produced exactly that. And having worked for and with the College of Policing on 4 occasions during my career, having a master's in education where I focused on personnel evaluation systems, and a multitude of vocational qualifications around assessment and quality assurance of training material and assessment material, I think I can spot what's good and what isn't, what has merit, value and worth. And quite seriously and honestly, it took seconds to produce, and I think it could easily put the College of Policing out of business. Hampshire Police, I've been told, are moving away from online assessment centre only to online assessment centre plus group exercises. So I asked it to create some group exercises for me together with marking guides. The first one I did was around legitimacy, a group exercise, a group discussion around the subject of legitimacy. Create the exercise together with a marking guide. Took it 2 seconds. 2 seconds, and it created something which would have taken me years ago probably a few days to produce. Seriously, it would have taken me a few days to produce it, and it did it in the space of 2 seconds. So then I asked it for, can you provide me with some examples of excellent candidate responses? And it did. Can you provide me with some examples of poor candidate responses? And it did. Can you provide me, if I was a candidate, could you provide me with some tips and guidance on how to approach this exercise? And it did. And it's frightening. It is seriously, seriously frightening. It's designed role plays. It's designed how to approach those role plays, what good looks like, what bad looks like, techniques to pass the role plays. Seriously, for promotion, recruitment, Chat GPT is going to change everything. And I don't think the police service is ready for it. Seriously, I think the police service is stuck in a rut from 20, 30 years ago. And the thing about Chat GPT as well is I can ask it to create an answer which is different to how it would normally create it for other people who'd asked it the same question. And it'll do that as well. So in case any of you are thinking, some of you actually made some comments here, Tommy said with ChatGPT apparently plagiarism can't be detected from what the ChatGPT bot says. The thing is, it's not plagiarism. It's just scouring the internet. It's just scouring bazillions of items of data, and it's just turning it into the best thing it possibly can. I don't know how it does it. I haven't got a clue, but it is. It's doing it. Omar's saying there are AI detectors, but they're generally not recognised as 100% accurate, especially when you ask it to create variations. Create a variation on this, it'll do it. Create another example for me, it'll do it. Create an example that doesn't look like it's been plagiarised, it'll do it. Create an example that looks different to how you would normally produce that example for others who are asking the same question. It'll do it for you. It'll do all of those things. Julian's saying AI is scary. Oh my goodness, it seriously, seriously is. It's just frightening. It's frightening. There's one thing missing though. There's one thing missing in all of this. And it's the thing that I think might rescue forces from ChatGPT and AI. And I'm going to explore it in a lot more detail in the subsequent videos. And it's the human element. It's the emotion. It's the authenticity. It's you describing how you did things. Because that's something that ChatGPT doesn't seem to be able to do. It'll provide you with the what, but it's finding it difficult to provide you with the how. And I'm going to go into more detail around that in subsequent videos. So there you go, folks. Chat GPT, that's my past week playing around with it and being absolutely gobsmacked, just looking at what's coming out of it and thinking, this will change everything. So folks, there you go. We're live here. If you're watching us on the replay, we're going live. So I'm just going to take a look at a few comments. Oh my goodness, Liliana, last news for myself, 29th of September. Got my intake day with Kent. Thank you, Brendan. Oh, Liliana, that's amazing to hear. I know how much you've worked towards this. So I'm going to drop you a message after. That's just incredible. I'm so pleased for you. I really am. I'm so pleased for you. You're not going to believe that. You're not going to believe how pleased I am, because I know how much this means to you. So Julian's saying, I've got my date for July the 24th, start date. Brilliant, awesome. Omar is saying, I created a prompt that gives fully detailed answers in every area of the online assessment centre. It's impressive. I can share if anyone wants to play around with it. Omar, can you share it with me first? Please, don't share it with anyone else, because, well, I know you can if you want. You know, it's up to you, completely up to you, my friend. But can you share it with me? Drop me a message. I'd love to see how different it is to the prompts that I created for it. Tommy's saying he's got, he's on. Tommy's saying I'm on the 29th intake as well with Kent. All right, okay. And Omar's saying I'll PM you. Lovely, that's awesome. Let's do a few more shout outs to people who are here. And if you've got any other questions, even if it's not about ChatGPT, please do let me know. Julie's watching, Tommy, Charlotte, Dave, Daniel, Dan, Sam, Colin, Craig, Neb, Liliana, of course, Julian, Hev, Kate, and Harrison, Peter, no, it's Petter, I think, Omar, of course, Annette's watching, and Chloe's watching. Awesome to have you all on board. Bruce is watching, taking part. Fantastic, amazing. Julian's saying, I must say, Brendan, I utilised the videos on your online assessment centre course, was gobsmacked about how accurate you were, an underlining pin in my success. Well, listen, I've been doing this for this long. I know exactly the sort of things that the College of Policing are going to design. I know exactly the sort of thing that they're looking for. I know exactly what forces are doing. I used to be one of the interviewers. Like I said, I've worked with and for the College of Policing on 4 different occasions during my career. They're really nice people, but they're very predictable. And I don't think they've got a clue about what's coming with artificial intelligence. So there you go, folks. Hope you found this of interest. Great that you all came to join me on this Facebook Live on this Friday evening. I look forward to your thoughts and ideas around artificial intelligence. I'm going to create a huge number of videos exploring all the different things I've looked at. I've got banks and banks and banks of examples which I've created, and I'm going to go through them all for you and talk about what I think you could use and what I think you should definitely not use. And also, I can't even work out the ethics of it. You know, I can't. Is asking Chat GPT for advice and guidance any different from you just Googling advice and guidance to pass promotion boards or the police recruitment process? I don't know. I really do not know. I can't work the ethics of it out, but hopefully you'll be able to help me. Drop me a line with your thoughts. What else can we end with? Anything else? No, just to say, Julian, I like that. Well, let's end with what Julian's saying, that he was gobsmacked with how accurate I am. I am not AI, by the way. I am 38 years worth of experience within the police. That's how I'm able to do it. My Chat GPT up there is capable of producing all sorts of guidance and support for you. It doesn't take seconds, though. It might take a little bit longer. Wonder what happens when Chat GPT gets a bit older. So there you go. Steve's just joining us now. Sorry, Steve, we're going to go in a moment. If you're watching this on the replay and you're thinking, what's this Facebook group? What's all of this stuff he's talking about? What are these courses? Check the links below. Check the links below if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're watching it on YouTube and you like what I've been talking about, then please do press that like button and that little bell notification button and subscribe. It'd be amazing if you could. It'd be amazing if you could. I'm going to end with Julian again. It's just saying, they say I'm the youngest applicant to get this far from where I live, which is a huge success. Oh, there's a story behind that, Julian. drop me a line, Julian, and tell me a little bit more. That sounds awesome story, awesome story. Amy Jane's just come to join us. I'm going now, so I'm sorry, but you'll be able to watch this on the replay later. Hope you found it interesting, folks. Let me know, PM me, message me, ask in the comments. Lets me know that people are actually watching this, are interested in it, and I'm actually serving you well. I'll catch up with you soon, folks. Bye-bye for now.